Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Alex. I don't know if you can hear me. If you can, please let me know. I'm trying something crazy here. I have 3 different instances of FL Studio open, but you can only see one. Because today, okay, you can hear me. Great. So I think I found a setup for the live stream. Now I can see the chat on my screen as I compose, and that's awesome. Before I couldn't. Now I found a way. And yeah, today I just have a few things to do. So this is gonna be like me just going about writing some mockups, or rather trying to. And yeah, trying to write some music. Let's see what comes out of this live stream. Please don't expect incredible value like you could get from my tutorials, because there's an entire difference in recording videos, knowing exactly what you're gonna talk about, and streaming yourself composing live. You know, I'm always, whenever I compose, it's not pretty. Especially when I compose mockups. Today I've been challenged to compose a mockup of a Final Fantasy XIII song called Saber's Edge. That song is from a composer, Masashi Hamauzu, and he writes these incredible chord progressions that really don't make that much sense to me, but they sound awesome. So I'm gonna try to make sense of them today. It's not gonna be cool. And what I have here is this instance of FL Studio, which is the one you're gonna hear and see. You know, but there's another instance with the original track opened in Ozone, and I'm gonna listen to the original and then write what I hear and listen to the original again, etc. That's gonna be what I do for this one. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna move to another track. I have a few tracks that I'd like to work on today, so. But yeah, guys, if you notice moments where I'm silent, it's because I'm listening to the original track and you cannot hear it because I did not include that in the live stream settings, because I don't want the original track to play in the video, or otherwise that's like copyright infringement, and that's not good. So yeah, where am I from? I'm from Italy. Right now, living in London. My computer specs, I'm using Asus ROG what I think it's like something like this. It's like, you know, i7 something. It's not a huge, powerful notebook, you know. It gets the job done. But anyway, let's try to compose this Masashi Hamauzu track. Let me listen to how the original plays. Let's see. So it's like 5/4. Pam 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 pam. I hope it doesn't change time signature in the track, because I hate it when they do that. I'm using, guys, like, why do you always ask this? I always reply, so like the answers are out there. Why are you keep on asking those specs? I use Biodynamic the T770 as headphones, and microphone is a Blue Yeti Snow something. Yeah, I should get to composing though. So. What key is this song in? I don't even know. We're gonna see that. Here I just set the time signature to 5/4, because the original song is in 5/4. I'm writing a mock-up of another song right now. It's not an original. Maybe later we can write an original. So we have the basses doing that, and now this is already layered with shallows, actually. So we have song for reviews from us YouTube followers. I used to do that. But that created copyright problems. So there was a few problems with that. Like whenever I reviewed songs from people, I would sometimes get copyright claims because those songs were protected. So when I use them in my videos, they're like, how dare you use them in your videos? But you actually send the songs to me. So, that created some problems. So telling people just don't send me songs that you have on copyright ID didn't work. It wasn't, it didn't solve the problem. So I decided to not do those anymore. And also another thing is when I did reviews, all the songs had the same problem. So the review will be the same for 2 hours on end. And that wasn't very useful, in my opinion. I think I'm messing up the original already. Not good. Yeah, I was messing up. So it's C played over F. I'm gonna do this. So we have these F being reinforced like that. Interesting time signature to start with, or I'm using XSplit for the streaming. The quality of my voice is given by my microphone. It's the Blue Yeti's Double something, but it's also being processed in real time by FL Studio. So I apply some EQs and stuff on my voice. And that's why I have an entire FL Studio instance only for my microphone. Do you think it would be easier if you started the entire with the piano sketch? Yes, but not this one, because this one is a mock-up. You guys cannot see it, but I'm going to show you now. So what I did here, and I'm not going to play it from here. So I have another instance of a studio opened with this file in it, already split. This is Saber's Edge from Final Fantasy XIII. It's the original track and trying to rewrite exactly by ear. So I listen to this on the other window you guys cannot see, and then I rewrite what I hear, pretty much. That's also why I picked 5/4 as time signature, but that sometimes, I choose my time signature depending on how I want to start my track. How do you change it? You go in the options here on the project. Here you can set 5/4, or you can set whatever you want, really. You can also change it inside a pattern, thanks to FL Studio 20, actually. Here, somewhere, there is a function, like time markers, add time signature change. You can change the time signature. Yeah. Oh man, I think this live stream is gonna be me replying to questions rather than composing. It's crazy. Stay tuned in for some Sin City music. Yeah, totally. That's what I do. That's my ultimate dream. These libraries so far, they are Metropolis Arc 1 and Metropolis Arc 1. Pretty much. Now, where was I? I lost the thread. Oh my, this percussion is trippy. Okay, let's try going with the whenever I write my mockups, I love rewriting melodies and chords because those I can really distinguish them. But the percussion, oh my god, the way I write percussion myself is very particular. So when I have to rewrite someone else's pattern, it's always like, oh my god, what is he doing? What is he doing? That's an interesting interval there. So this is what the original composer is doing in this bit. You have this. Not like that. I already forgot. Jesus. Okay. So in the beginning of the song, there's this brass doing sort of like muted sustains. Now that's gonna be hard to replicate with Metropolis Arc, I think. Sounds super quiet now. Okay. This already sounds like shit. You can see when you open falling menus in FL. I guess that's an exploit bug. So I need to find out what articulation, like what key switch corresponds to legato in cinematic strings 2. This is one thing I cannot trigger, sadly, with BRS articulate. So let's go. Let's see. It's not this one. It's not this one. Nope. Okay, there it is. I wouldn't say it's impressive that I draw, it's actually disturbing. Not like that. So I don't like those French horn there. Maybe it's a tuba playing that part. I don't know. Let's do it with the tubas. Someone recognizes the song. I find it disturbing how many of you guys don't know Final Fantasy. It's like not only for the game itself, but the music in that game is like incredible, guys. You should really check it out. Really, totally. Anyway, we should do a round of Q&As like later. I want this stream to be a bit long, a few hours. So if you guys see me ignoring your questions, please forgive. I'm trying to work, but later I'm gonna do maybe some Q&A and stuff. You know, for fun. Now, just give me 1 second here. All right. It already has more body, so that's good. But I'm not even sure this is what I really wanted. This must be the wrong chord. Let me listen to it once again. No, it's the right chord. But I'm already failing here with the transcribing this track. So weird. Like chord progressions here are gonna teach me something because I never composed this way. It's a good exercise to compose other people's music like that, you know? I mean, that's not all you want to do. Like if you want to be a composer, obviously you also need to write original music. But, you know, lately I've been erring on the side of rewriting other people's music a lot or writing arrangements. And that taught me so much. And also, arranger. You can be an arranger as well as a composer. So if you like rewriting other people's music or you like arranging other people's music, you know, you can even make a job out of that. For me, it's more about learning. Sounds a bit dull though here. Maybe. Yeah. It's better with higher dynamics. Freaking dynamics. Can never get them right. This could be probably louder. So I'm gonna take maybe this voice. Or I can take them all and like double them on violas. You know, the reason why sometimes I use violas a lot, you know, along with violins is just enforce things. Usually violas in the orchestra, they're kind of the joke of the orchestra because they're not violins nor cellos, you know, it's something in between and they can enforce one or the other. They usually have a supportive role in the general. So that's why like people often joke about violas, but in my opinion, they're great, you know? I love them. Okay, now it's starting to sound a bit more like it has more body. That's good. Although it starts too soon. I shouldn't pay too much attention to all these details though. From the get-go. Let's be creative. And just not care about this stuff. Now, apart from our violas and stuff, here there's other things happening. Actually, I could do this on cellos too. Like. Oh. I just noticed I wrote this wrong. It's like this actually. Yeah, now it's more correct. Attention to the piano part. Good luck transcribing that shit. That's my nightmare like that. I know it's coming. I know that this track has incredible piano and that's gonna be the hardest thing. And I think it starts here already. After this second repetition. Let's try adding the piano, guys. This is, if I can nail the piano, I can nail the rest of the track. So the track repeats itself once again, wherever we wrote here. And there's also a percussive pattern I haven't wrote. I usually take care of the percussion for last, because I tend to be very heavy with the percussion. So when I write them, I use them for last, so to make sure that they're not too much overkill compared to the rest of the arrangement. Well, if I start by writing percussion, I will write incredible percussion parts that are super loud. And then when I have to write the orchestra on top of it, it will never sound good because the percussion is too crazy. So yeah, that's the strategy I follow. How did I move the dynamics level all up and down? You can, I don't know how I did that, but you can do this, press Alt-X, and then you just do this, you do whatever the hell you want. That's something FL Studio lets you do. Now in this bit, there's a piano coming in, which is a nightmare already. And let's see, because I cannot play piano very well, I'm gonna have to transcribe note by note. It's gonna be terrible. Prepare yourself, guys. So. What the hell is he doing? I'm crying already. So, let's see if I can nail this. If this is too complicated, we're gonna bounce to another track, but I want to try. This will sound stupid unless I humanize it a lot also, I think. And there's some notes which I'm gonna invent because I cannot really hear them. So. What the hell is he doing? I cannot really recreate what I'm hearing here. It's called Saber's Edge. Go check it out on YouTube and understand why I'm crazy. I want to explode. Okay, you guys listen to the piano part. Now you know. You know. That's, I don't know. The piano part starts with a C. Yeah. What happened to my gaming channel? I noticed like no one cared about that channel. And it was very difficult to actually play games while being like fun and, you know, commenting everything, you know. So it became like, it took me a lot of time, a lot of energy to do those Pokemon videos. So I was like, well, you know, no one watches them. It takes me a lot of time and it's making it a bit less enjoyable. So I stopped making the freaking YouTube videos on Pokemon. How can you quickly determine which group should play in the foreground in the orchestra? I mean, strings, basses, maybe piano, etc. It depends on the song. You know, it's just usually I keep the like, if I want my melodies to stand out, I'm gonna play them on the instruments to the highest register. Do you regret going this deep in FL Studio? Would you start with a different DAW if you had to start fresh? If I had to start fresh, I'd probably spend a year learning piano. You know, the DAW is not that much. You know, it doesn't change that much. I mean, you can write awesome music on FL Studio, and I will still use FL Studio, I think. If I could change whatever, I would still use it. And nothing stops me from stopping using the program and changing it to another DAW. The reason why I don't do it is because I like it, you know? Oh my god, the part of the piano that comes after. What the hell is this? What is this? Oh my god. This is not going to be able to, like, it's not possible. You guys should check it out on YouTube, by the way, to understand what I'm doing here. Maybe I should write the piano first, the percussion first, actually. Yeah, I'll write the percussion because I need to have that percussion reference underneath the piano, unless it's going to be very hard to understand the piano's rhythm. So let's go with the percussion here. Yeah, the piano part is crazy. I have no idea what I was thinking about when I started composing this. But yeah, guys, like this is something I always do. Whenever I really want to challenge myself, I take a song that makes me feel like, holy crap, how the hell am I gonna be able to write this song, you know? And then I try to write a song, write it entirely by ear. that's what I did with the Pirates of the Caribbean. It's what I did with the Landing. So many tracks felt like that. You know, it felt like, oh my god, this is gonna be impossible to rewrite it. And that's why after writing those tracks, I improved a lot. So that's what I'm doing here. This song itself, Saber's Edge, has incredible piano parts and also interesting harmonies that are way different from what I would write myself. So that's why I picked it. It's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be fun to write it actually, but it's going to be very educational. Now, the song starts with a gong. Sort of a gong roll. It's going to be great. Gongs are awesome if you want to open up your track, and usually that's a good way to build a transition or an intro or something like that. This track starts like this kind of. No, it does fade away though. So maybe another. It's time to arrange Thomas Bergerson American Dream next. That's like, okay, maybe in like 3 years. Hamauzu wrote it with Hollywood Orchestra. Sounds like he used one of those libraries. And I think like Hollywood Orchestra sounds pretty cool if you use it on its own. It's when you start to blend it with libraries like Metropolis Arc or like huge cinematic Brahms, etc., that it becomes very, you know, complicated to make it stand out. But if you use it on its own, then you'll get great results. And also, like the Final Fantasy XIII soundtrack is very organic and very well orchestrated. Well, many people compose orchestral music that is like just heavy and aggressive, and for that kind of stuff, then Hollywood Orchestra might not be the best. But yeah. It's time to, no. The solution is paint your computer screen white. What? What the hell? Okay, let's move on. Let's listen to the percussive pattern again. Okay, let's start with the snare, which is doing something like. So the snare is like following our bass here. And here it does like this sort of thing. Very quiet snare here. Maybe I can actually. This stream is already on YouTube and I think it will stay, maybe? I don't know. If it ends up being a good stream, yeah. If it ends up being a failure, I'm gonna remove it. Genova Complete. That's way simpler than American Dream, I think. So this snare is pretty straightforward. It's not doing crazy things. It just should sound a bit bigger than that, though. Okay, I can layer it with this other snare. So one is an ensemble, the other is like just one snare, I think. Usually the streams are preserved, so yeah, the stream will be uploaded on the channel itself, I think. Someone asked, do you like classical music? If yes, what composers? I don't. Someone just got a band, by the way. Sleepwalker RJ, congrats. Classical composers, I don't listen to as much classical music as I should, I think. I know I like a few songs, but I don't really listen to a lot of it. That might change because, you know, I always listen to a lot of genres and everything. So, who's the talented composing here, working here? There's just me. I see no one else. Now, other than the snare, there's another layer of percussion doing something else. There's timpani. Let's add those timpani. I'd argue video game music is not classical. You know, it's very different. But then it also depends on the song itself. Let me isolate the percussion. It sounds super cheap compared to the original in terms of percussion, sadly. Yeah, so many questions. When I stream on Twitch, there's not so many people. What happened? Like, why is no one following me on Twitch? And why are you guys all here? Like, you lost so many streams from me, actually. Because I never live stream on YouTube. It's always Twitch for me. Let's go over a few questions. String and brass are Metropolis Arc 1. Yes, I'm fine, Domenico. Thank you for asking. Who else do you know make orchestral music in FL Studio? Well, cinematic music. I know Juggernaut, Joshua Crisping, a friend of mine, incredible composer. He used FL Studio last time I checked. Also, Varian uses FL Studio. Seamless R made a few orchestral songs in FL Studio, one called Codename Hurricane, which is like crazy. Do you have free orchestral sample plugins to recommend with good realism? Check out Spitfire Labs, Fabio. Have you used any other DAWs? I tried Cubase and Reason. Reason, like, I have no idea what that was. Like, literally, I was like, I don't know. Cubase, lovely interface, lovely way in which you can set up your template and stuff, but the piano roll is the stuff of nightmares. So I just went back to FL Studio. In Twitch, sometimes I can't watch streams because of my crappy internet. Oh, interesting. So YouTube has better in, streaming then. That's good. Yeah, it's true that Uematsu uses loads of classical music influences, but also like rock. So you never know. Like you can call it classical, but oh yeah, Blake Robinson from the Synthetic Orchestra makes videos where he composes in the FL Studio with orchestra. But yeah, you could like when you listen to Japanese composers, you're listening to a lot of genres at the same time. It's not only purely classical, so it would be like listening to Mozart would be very different from listening to Nobuo Uematsu. But yeah, guys, you're distracting me. Stop it. We have done nothing so far. I wouldn't say FL Studio is the best DAW. It's the best one from my approach, that's for sure. I can say that for sure, like no doubt in that, It's not, but there's no such thing as that. This is the best and all the other ones suck. That's not real, It's not a narrative I believe in. It's different for every single person. That's true for sample libraries as well. So whenever someone says, "Oh, this is the best," then just don't listen to the person. Listen to the one who tell you the whole truth, or that show that they know what they're talking about. Guys, the best DAW is SimCity. No, there was a game on PlayStation 1 called Music 2000 or something. That was the first DAW I ever tried, and was like 6 years old, and I wrote these beats, which were already, I already showed some musical, it showed that I had this stuff, for music. I don't know how to tell it, but I was already interested in it. And my sister, when listening to my beats, she was like, "Oh, wow, you're very talented." I'm like, "Yeah, never took that seriously until I, became 20 and tried FL Studio. Now, it's back to that piano part. Oh no, there's actually a percussive pattern that I still forgot to include. I just messed up with this timpani, it seems. Nice. Oh, no, it's right though. Yeah, no, it's right. But I need to add something else. Let's try to do the same rhythm we're doing on the snares on some other percussive sound here. So I'm gonna try to use, since I don't have the same exact sounds that Masashi Hamauzu used, I'm just gonna use a few of my own, trying to replicate the same effect. That never works, but maybe. This is not gonna be it. Maybe I can do something like. So this is split in 4, right? Close enough. Is there a piece you'd recommend to replicate as a starting point? Hans Zimmer, Time. Start with Hans Zimmer, Time. It's gonna give you an incredible insight in how orchestration works, because that song sounds very simple, right? And you're like, da, 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 da. You're like, yeah, I can rewrite it. Then you try to rewrite it, and you notice it's not gonna sound as good. And in really listening to it a lot of times, then you're gonna notice all the nuances and layers and the details in that song, and you're gonna notice how the most simple stuff even the most simple stuff sometimes is very complex underneath, and that's why it sounds great, you know. Mario Paint, the best EAW. Yeah. Who would you like to interview next? I'd like to interview Daniel James. Maybe my friend from Epic Music World as well. Ivan Torrent, if I can manage to get an interview with him. But before interviewing Daniel James, Ivan Torrent, and those guys, I prefer to first get better at being an interviewer, you know. Then. I also want a layer of bigger percussion underneath here. I don't like this percussion pattern at all, but I'm gonna keep it for now because the real boss is the freaking piano. Let's see. Too much reverb on this piano though. Or maybe it's just very loud. It is very loud. Let's reduce it. And I think in the original, this is also layered with some harps. Because I hear them just on the latest notes like there. So it's like something. Hey, Peter Gandry. Welcome. I don't think I will pick Metropolis Arc 4 for now. Maybe that would change. Also, Arc 3. I will not use it for now, but maybe that would change. Those like my tracks are mostly like hugely ignorant and violent and whatever. Arc 4 seems to be for the more sort of like chamber-centric sort of sound, which I don't use often in my tracks. I have no doubt that it's going to be an incredible library. Like, I have no doubt that Arc 3 and 2 were incredible, but I don't think they're going to fit my style a lot. Now, let's go with the freaking piano. I'm going to listen to the piano and cry because I have no idea how to write it. Okay, one thing at a time. Oh my god. Let's see if I can manage to find the keys on my little piano here. I just remember one thing though. I think someone sent me a MIDI file of this song containing the piano runs. Let me check it if I still have it somewhere. Maybe not. No, I don't have it anymore. I'll have to figure it out on my own. That's too bad. Let's see. I'm not gonna cheat. It was just to make it easier for you guys to watch the stream, that's all. Have you ever written a piece of music on music sheet? No, because I cannot read music sheet at all. Let alone write on it. So the notes here seem to be very fast. Not sure what time signature, what rhythm the notes are following, but it must be like super fast. Maybe this. So one good exercise in these cases is to take the notes that I actually can distinguish and start from those and then complete and fill in the blanks. I'm gonna try that. Oh my god. This run is so hard, for real. Maybe I should compose the song and leave the piano for later, actually. Because this piano literally doesn't make sense. I think that run is like what you would call like a chromatic, because like, it's like playing notes that I don't think really belong in the scale. So chromatic is the one you play all the notes in like all creation without giving it a damn, pretty much. That's what Masashi Hamauzu is doing here. That's why I'm messing around with this and cannot find my way around it, even though I listen to the original. No way to get it. So I'm just gonna move and yeah, compose the track itself, skip the piano parts for now, and then when I finish the track, I will write the piano parts by bleeding my ears to death. Now, let's move on. So we have an interesting transition here where, you know, the piano does its thing. Okay. And I think the transition kicks here, I think. Actually, let me check this one out. Sorry, guys. How many bars is it? So there's one. Okay, so like... and then there's one repetition. Okay, here there is a break, so these parts weren't supposed to be there at all. The key of this song, I think it's F something. I haven't really tried to understand that. Must be F like minor or something. F minor in some specific mode. Cinesamples run. That's not what like Cinesamples run would never get there. Because this is a very particular one. Anyway. Here we have a break with the tubas doing something like bam, bam, bam. And this could be layered all over tubas and French horn. This is like bam, bam. So we copy this on French horn. Let's do it on basses as well, because it's never a bad idea. Although these breaks, not so good. And I think this sounds longer than it should also. Of course. I just noticed this part has a time signature change. Damn it. That's why I was off. Here it goes to 6/4, I think. So we also have time signature changes in this track. Amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, got it, yeah. So Masashi Hamauzu doesn't really mess around, like all these chromatic scales and stuff, which are not runs. They're just, yeah, they're runs, but they're chromatic. They don't have a shape. And now the time signature changes and everything. See, this is why, I always write other people's songs. There's so many things you would never do in your own music that you find in other people's music. And it teaches you stuff. That's good. Let's read a few of the comments. Hey, Neil. Okay. It's the key of the song. I'm going to try to find it now. What are the notes? I don't know. Okay. It's Valhalla Reverb. Yeah, it's ValhallaRoom. I'm making a cover of Saber's Edge. Do you think that understanding music theory is necessary for orchestral composer? I know very little. I'm going to make a video about that maybe tomorrow. Because people often ask me this question, and I always say you don't need to know theory. Although, for example, now, if I knew theory, I would, probably be able to dissect that freaking piano run that I can never, I tried half an hour to write and I couldn't. Also, the more theory you know, usually the more agile you're going to be into decision making. It's not going to make you a better composer in the sense it's not going to make you more creative necessarily. It's just going to make you navigate the waters of composing music a bit more easier for you. But you don't even want to end in the trap where you know so much that you're now paralyzed, you know? And that's what I want to avoid. I know how I work, I know myself, so I know that if I started studying loads of theory, maybe I would become like that. I will become, I shouldn't use this chord because like this, the seventh on the diminished, whatever. And no, I don't want to get to that point, but I do know a bit of theory, like, what intervals are, what diminished chord means, like what the seventh and the 13th and stuff like that are. I think I'm going to make a video explaining all the theory that I know. So if you want to write music like me, understand like the basic theory I know, so with that, you can really do it. But if you want to delve more into music theory, it's not a bad thing. It's actually good, depending on who you are. It can be very great, or it could be limiting. It depends on you. What libraries I use for brass? I'm using Metropolis ROG 1 right now. Yeah, guys, like Final Fantasy, for some reason it's a game. It's not very popular in some cases. In other cases it is, but I think that, it doesn't matter if you play the game or not. You should actually just listen to the music itself, though, because it's really incredible. Sensium, I want to listen to the music you're writing with 64 gigabytes of RAM, because I'm using 16, and I use 16 gigabytes until, until now, and it's never been a problem, really. Yeah, like when people tell you, hey, you don't know theory, so you suck, I don't even listen to that, because you can write great music without knowing theory so much. But when they tell me, hey, if you knew theory, then you would be able to solve this problem more fast, I am like, oh, okay, that's interesting. It's not an end-all be-all. It's one thing that can help you. For some people, it's not possible to write music without knowing it. For some other people, it's easier. Even like, I don't know. Like, for me, I don't know theory, and I'm okay with it. I have no explanation that makes really sense as to why that's how I work. But that's really how I do it. For me, it was mostly like a situation of wanting to write music without wanting to wait to be ready. That's been my narrative. Like, I compose music without knowing theory, without being able to play well, because I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to compose, and that's what I did. So yeah, now though, I'm at this point where I'm like, well, it would be awesome if I actually learned to play a lot and well, so that whenever I hear a run like that, I can perform it on my piano straight away. That would be awesome. So it's not the less you know, the better you are. That's actually a pretty stupid way to view it. It's like, you don't need to know everything to do it. But of course, if you know more stuff, then, that's not going to be detrimental. It's going to be good if you know how to use all the stuff you know in the best of ways. It's a longer reply, that one, but I really think it's a conversation that needs to be had with a certain, precision and stuff. Because it can be very misinterpreted. Like, I don't want people to believe, you shouldn't study anything and you're good, because like there's loads of studying that I do. You see this, what I'm doing now, this is not fun. This is me trying to understand what the hell Masashi Hamauzu went into making this, what went into his head when he composed this track. And it's quite tedious work. Tedious work will always have to be done if you want to become great. You cannot avoid that. I just chose to do the work of arranging and composing instead of doing, yeah. Bit 26 is short because here I did a time signature change. We went from 5/4 to 6/4, and now it's changed like that. That's why the bit is so short. Now, let's get back to composing. How many of us are here, by the way? I don't know if I can see that. I think it's like 20 people. Okay. You guys write like you're 500 people. That's crazy. Okay, let's move. 110 people? Are you kidding me? I thought it was 20 people. Oh my god. I'm gonna die. Now, let's move on. Oh, I just messed this part up, actually. Yep, I messed it up. It's not like that. See, it does that. Bam, bam. I was putting my bias on it, like that, because that's what I would have done. Ba, 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 but it actually is doing this. And I didn't notice. When we listen to music, it's usually like it's very easy to not listen to what is being executed and to listen to what you would like to hear, kind of. It's a very strange effect that happens. And yeah, the less you learn to do that, like the more you learn to really listen, the better of a composer you will become, really. So yeah. Now, there is one voice of brass doing what I was doing before, though it's on the highest octave. So we have two things. So we have a French horn doing that. Or actually, maybe it's a tuba. Could I do that with a tuba? Well, there is a layer of bass trombone doing that for sure. Hello, Stamina. Can you do a live track feedback session on YouTube? I can't, and for a reason I mentioned before. I might do those, like, Twitch is the only place where I can do those, but I don't think it's good to do those, since all the tracks used to have the same exact problem. So it will be like 2 hours of me giving the same exact feedback to like 40 people. And you can imagine how exhausting that is and how, little productive. I have an idea in mind though, like something crazy that I saw someone do. It's a guy called Jacob Collier. Crazy guy. And he did a nice sort of challenge with his fans. And I think I'll do the same or something similar. I'm going to mention it not today, sometime, some other time. Anyway, we have this going on, and then it really rises in terms of dynamics, so you really hear it as it goes. That we also have this on the French horn somewhere. It was either French horn or tubas. Let's do it on the tubas. Because like the tubas, when you play those high notes, they sound like a muted French horn. That's pretty good. Like very naturally, even if I'm using Metropolis Arc1. Maybe I can do this though. So we have a bit of a break here in between. So this, then it rises. And then it falls. And then it rises for real. Something like that. All right. Let's do it on the tubas. Now these tubas. So you rise and you fall. And then you rise again. That sounds a bit stupid, but maybe I can even double that on cellos. I don't know if it's doing that in the track. Really not. That's like I'm hearing some like violas doing stuff. I don't know. When I listen to the song, I hear these violas, but I think they are not there. They're just in my head. Once again, laying over stuff on other people's arrangements. Not a good thing, but I do feel I should put this here for some reason. I'm just going to do it. I'm having a hard time reading what you guys are talking about, but yeah, I know I can copy the events. I know I can do it. Sometimes it's just faster to do it this way, though. I wish there was a way like to actually go here, like do this, to copy, and then do Control V and copy the events instead of the notes itself. I hate having to go on edit events every single time and doing it from there, you know, because it's very tedious. I'm pretty sure it's like Hamauzu is also playing piano notes here. That's not right note. man, these chords he's building, oh my god, they're so cool. And also there's something else underneath this piano. Of course, there is some spiccatos. Very, very, light detail stuff that you would not hear unless you're a maniac like me. Let's see if I can rewrite them. Bum, 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 bum. It's over here. Let's see if we can do that. Man, it's so cool. So awesome. The piano is the giant. By the way, guys, if you want me to really see a question, you can use the super chat. Although it's like it comes at a cost. For example, if you do this, I'm gonna try it myself. Let's see if it works. Oh my god! No, I messed it up. But yeah, usually, like if you are on YouTube Red or whatever, like you can use the super chat, and it sends a message which is very visible. Although it's like a donation, both a donation and a message. If you really want to see a question, or also you can, like, if you have questions about what I'm doing now, if this video airs on YouTube later, you can ask questions in the comments, and I'm gonna make sure to address those because I read the comments all the time. Now, while I'm composing, reading all you're saying is very tough. So, okay, someone did the super chat. Clay, thank you, by the way, for the donation. But yeah, that's how, like, I see that every time. So what piano is that? It's the Giant. It's one contact library that comes with complete, I think, this one. Now, the cool thing about the Giant is that you can really edit and tweak the sound a lot. Like, if I want this sound to be way more, sweet, I can go here and increase the soft tone. It's already quite soft, actually, but now it's harder. You can just tweak it how you want it. There's also this page here. You can equalize it, add other stuff to it, or you can use the presets, And then there's also another piano which I love to use. It's called Spitfire Labs Soft Piano. Pretty great. I've never tried Grandeur. Now, let me get back to the spiccato here. You should see whenever someone donates with a super chat. Like, the message becomes huge and colorful. That's the point. Usually everyone can see it. Now, there's this spiccato here is tricky because it's obviously harmonized. Obviously, I'd say. Because we're talking about Masashi Hamauzu here. I like the sound of the Giant. I haven't used the Metropolis Arc 1 piano that much, but if I have to be honest, that might change, but I prefer to use the Giant. I'm not sure if here Masashi Hamauzu is doing this arpeggio again. Doesn't sound like it. Let's check it out. Yeah, he changed it a little bit. So he does that. I forgot it already. Oh my god. Okay, this is what he does. What he does. Let me save this because I actually haven't saved this project once. So it would be a nightmare to lose all of that. Okay, guys, let's do some Q&A round while I drink some water. Ask me all your questions now. And I'll also try to go back and see if I have questions that I lost sight of. View Music Theory plus Final Fantasy plus Metropolis Arc 1 equals Alex Moukala in a nutshell. That's how God created me. Let's see. Your questions, guys. Ask me them. Ask them to me. I can really figure out what instrument it is, brass or strings. It's a blend of both, if you mean the one here, actually. Let's remove the strings here on the piano. We have the two violas, like two viola voices doing this. And then you have the tubas doing the ba ba ba, and then you have the other tubas and French horns doing the ba ba, along with some basses. So it's like basses, violas, tubas, French horn, whatever, and it's all blended and layered together like that to create that sort of like soft. Like when you layer different orchestral instruments together, you tend to get certain colors that you would not normally get. It's like blending, I don't know, yellow and green or whatever. Like you get a new color that you can use even on its own. But you know, it's so weird to explain it. But it's like literally blending two different colors together to get a different shade of, I don't know, red or different shade of another color. Am I single? No, I am an ensemble. Do you recommend Nexus for orchestral instruments? I recommend Contact and a library like Metropolis Arc 1 or Albion 1 or Jaeger, those with all the orchestral instrument in it, because it's good. Nexus is pretty, you cannot really use it to make realistic stuff. Although I used it. If you check out my live stream where I listen to my super old songs in the first half of my cinematic songs. Yeah, the one of the ensemble was pretty great, huh? The first half of my cinematic songs were done with Nexus. But yeah, for what you like, Nexus would I think it costs like 200 euros or something, and the Hollywood expansion, that is the orchestral stuff, costs 250 or something. So for 450 euros, you better get Contact and Jaeger. That's a better purchase. Is better Windows 7 or 10? I think 10 is better. Like usually when you go higher, like you get the more updated version that is better CPU and RAM management and all those things. But you can also use Windows 7, it's not a bad thing. Just don't use your Windows XP. That one is too old now. Were you very interested in classical trailer music when I was a kid? No. Trailer music is something I found out after I started to be like producing and composing, and it sounded very cool. I was like, wow, I want to do this. And I did it and it was fun. But then I dropped it. But classical music instead, like when I was a kid, I listened to I used to play Final Fantasy, right? And Final Fantasy has all these soundtracks which are obviously inspired by classical music, but also rock, and also like there's so many different genres. And the first few Final Fantasies, the soundtracks were in like MIDI kind of. And I remember I would download the MIDI files of the soundtracks and listen to them, and I would really headbang to those MIDI guitar sound fonts and all those things. Like stupid MIDI music made me headbang like 50 Cent and Christina Aguilera did not at the time. And I was like 8 years old or something. So the passion for music was already big. And I remember I downloaded this piano DAW sort of and tried to write something, but I was like, I'm not good. It doesn't. I felt like I loved music, but I wasn't born with talent, so it didn't make sense to even try. And then eventually I grew up and I was like, it makes sense to try, actually. I'm going to try. And see if I can get somewhere with my music. And if I do, I want to be the living proof that even if you start when you're 20 years old, you can still make it. And that's why, I'm now doing this YouTube thing. It's like came full circle. It's very, and now I'm doing like Final Fantasy music, which is the first, like has been the first influence to music for me. Alex, is there a video on how to set articulation to note colors? Yeah, there is. There is. I think, look, Alex Moukala, BRSO Articulate, you're going to find it on YouTube. Or on BRSO Articulate's website, you're going to find a tutorial from Blake Robinson, who's the guy who made that plugin, explaining you what he did that. You layer them in same notes or making chords. If you mean those sounds like I showed before, those are kind of like, some are playing the same things. Other, like when you put them together, it's like they're playing chords or whatever. But, each one is doing its own thing. Some are doing two, like it depends on the arrangement itself. Like here on the basses and the French horns are doing, the basses, tubas, and French horn are doing the same exact note. The violas are harmonizing on top of that note, and the tubas and bass trombone are playing a melody on top of that. This could all be taken and put on a piano patch, for example, and you would get a chord plus melody. But if you split it that way and you layer it that way, you get these colors. I'm going to make a tutorial about layering eventually because it's a very interesting subject and important at that, but it's very strange to talk about it, for me at least. My compositions sound very classical. What do you recommend to make music to make music that sound different? Try, like it depends, but try to blend your instrument. Like if you change your instrumentation, Nonika, that changes like the colors of your track. Like if on this song that I'm writing here, if I started using arpeggios, electronic arpeggios and Brahms, then this would very easily become sort of like a hybrid Trader song, If I started using hard-hitting Trader percussion, that would be a Trader song. Here I'm using snares, and I'm using orchestra only. This track I'm writing, this fully orchestrated, fully orchestra, no electronic sounds, and that makes it sound a bit more classical. So the instruments you use in a song determine what world you're going to recreate with it. If you want your song to be less classical, use synthesizers, you can even use guitars, you can even use Arabian instruments, and then it's going to sound like a desert, kind of, it's like different, depending on the instruments you use. And also it gives you a different inspiration to use instrument A compared to instrument B. So that's the way in which you can really try to delve into other fields other than classical. That's why having many sample libraries is always, it's a good idea, actually. Having not 500 strings libraries, but many different libraries for many different instruments. It's a good idea if you want to be open. Nexus, the orchestral stuff in Nexus sounds pretty okay, but there's no such thing as realism because you don't have modulation wheel, you don't have round robins in your samples, you don't have dynamics, multiple articulations. It's just staccato and sustain. It's not like a patch. Well, I can show you actually. I have Nexus here, but I love it because the Nexus Hollywood has some nice arpeggios and stuff. There's one I always use. Where is it? I love this one because you can really do those sorts of Deus Ex arpeggios, whatever. There's also some Tron Legacy sounds. And yeah, it's pretty cool. But the orchestral sounds, when I first downloaded it, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Oh my god, tutti staccatessimos. From having sound fonts to having this, it was incredible, right? And in Nexus, you can also go here, somewhere in the mix, you can actually remove some of the instruments somewhere. I don't remember where it was. But it's tutti and sustains, and there's no different articulations. You cannot do that. If you tweak the mod wheel, it's just a filter, really, so it's not ideal. It's best to get a contact library. Other questions. Do you recommend Magic Music Maker? Never tried it. I got blue screen of death whenever I open Contact 6. Any solution? The Divine Word, you should ask to the contact, to Native Instruments support. They have a support page, support forum. Go there, write them, hey, you're giving my computer a blue screen of death. What is the reason? Are you signed to a label or something like that? Just curious. By the way, I started playing guitar and bass because I wanted to play Final Fantasy songs. That's amazing. I was with trader music and stuff. It's not like you're signed to a labels. You usually sign specific tracks to a label. So I wrote music for really slow motion music in the past, Colossal Tronic music, End of Silence, Theta Sound music, and maybe that's it. I don't remember, but a few labels out there. But that was like, it's not I signed my persona or my musical output with a label. I signed some of the tracks which I made for those labels. And then I'm still free to do whatever the hell I want. It's not like I'm signed to them and they own me. That's usually not how it works with labels. You layer instruments in the same notes or make... Oh, yeah, replied that before. What are my New Year's resolutions? I have no idea. Who's your favorite orchestral music composer? Nobuo Uematsu. Trader composer... not trader, but like epic music. I love Ivan Torrent and Thomas Bergerson. But their music is not like trader genre anymore. It's like epic music, but it sounds right. What was the Hans Zimmer song again? What Hans Zimmer song? It's probably the Pirates of the Caribbean medley. You'll find it on my YouTube channel. Look for Pirates of the Caribbean, Alex Moukala. And what is the second question? Camcorder. I'm gonna get back to composing in a second here. I'm gonna drink some water. How long have we been online, guys? I lost track of time. I think we went over an hour already, probably even more. We've been online for an hour and we've done nothing of value. That's not good. That's the issue of streaming. Like, you tend to have more fun than you're actually productive. 90 minutes. That's terrible. I don't have discount coupons for FL Studio. That's a good question, though. I don't have it. I did a giveaway once, and I gave a free copy of FL Studio, thanks to the FL Studio team, but I don't have a coupon code now. Have you tried the Eduardo Taranto's libraries? Not yet. Is it like Chevanai and stuff like that? Because, yeah, it sounds amazing, but I never really tried it. Don't run from the piano part. I'm not running from the piano part. I'm going to write it as the last thing. Did you listen to Daniel James? Daniel James is another of my favorite composers. Can you play the whole thing, what you have already? Yeah, it's not that great. It's just basic. Maybe I should increase the buffer here, sorry. Oh wait, I just noticed one mistake here, actually. This piano part should come before, I think. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. In this bit, we didn't put the percussion yet. I'm gonna do that now. How would you judge if a track should be released or submitted to a library? Well, usually they judge. Like, if I'm writing trailer music, I send the music to the supervisors and I tell them, hey, do you want this? They'll be like, oh yeah, I want it. Or, yeah, but you need to fix a thing. Or, no, I don't want it. If everyone says no, I'm like, well, I'm gonna keep it for myself, either release it myself or whatever. Now, when I make tracks, I usually release them if I really like them, or if there's at least 30 seconds in which I like, wow, this is awesome. But if there's no such thing, I will make a tutorial on that track, on the thing that was the best, and then I'm gonna move on. No idea about Dragon coming out, yeah. I've been playing Octopath Traveler, rather than just listening to the soundtrack. It's really amazing, but I still need to finish the game. But the soundtrack, lots of modulation here, there, very, very beautiful stuff. Now, let me go with this percussion here. Okay, so the percussion is doing sort of a roll. Oh my god, where did my arrangement go? Okay, here it is. Sorry. I have like 500 windows of FL Studio and I lose track of the window with the arrangement. Here we are. What's happening here? We have a roll on the snare. And then there's a roll on the cymbals as well. So interesting for me to speak English because in Italian, which is my mother language, mother tongue, the R is at ramarro, like you really like that, right? Well, in English, you cannot say orchestra. It's like, now you sound Spanish. Pedro, bring me the orchestra. It's like, no, bring me the orchestra. So there's like this R that I have to simulate, like the English R. And it's like, I don't know, it's very weird when I talk. And that's partly one of the reasons why people say, oh, you have a nice English accent, because I know what to fake, like what words to not say with the R. Or yeah, like that. Anyway, I want to have like a percussive roll. They say Italian girls are the best ones. Ed, I'm not sure about that, but you know, if she's your wife, she must be amazing, so that's great. Where is the freaking... Okay, there he is. Stamina said something real bad, which you guys should never say to a girl. Oh my god, but yeah. I'm not gonna comment on that. Stamina. I have a reputation to maintain. Although there's one thing to say about Italian girls, there's no girl in the world who will be as good in cooking, I think. Like if it's an Italian girl who really grew up by learning all the great recipes from her mom, then man, you're in for a treat for sure. Because Italian cuisine, it's really something I'm missing here in London a lot. I don't like how loud these percussion are though. And then here we have some timpani coming on. Very simple timpani. Okay. It's interesting how, you know, composers use percussion. Like in this case, it's just bringing the rhythm back, right? But it's doing it with timpani, not with like big ta 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 ta, you know? So when you do, like you use this sort of sound, you just, you know, it's hearable in the bass. Rather than doing crazy hybrid perks. I could even take this, for example, and layer it with some actual bass playing those notes, like dun 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 dun. It will sound amazing. And so this is like a very gentle way to bring the rhythm back and bring a bit of warmth to the track itself. But yeah, I should go on. Now, I think there is a roll here as well. Maybe. I don't know. Let's do this. Thankfully, the part that comes after this bit has no piano in it, and I'm glad about that. It is Rhapsody, yes. Have you ever tried Symphobia? No, but I think it's quite old. Maybe like it, grew or right. Like I'm not sure how, I think they also have made Symphobia 1, 2, and 3 or something. I've makes the best lasagna in the world. 2 days to prepare. Oh my god, that's so awesome. Wow, Stamina. I was actually from Milan. Like I was born and raised in Milan. I was in Milan until like a few months ago. Can you leave the chat visible after this session? Yes. Usually when I do live streams, the chat is visible. When in the archive, there is an option where you can actually click and reread the live chat as the video goes, so you can really enjoy the live stream. Otherwise, it's gonna be like me talking to imaginary people. That's not very cool. Now, in this bit that comes after, let's see what happens. This bit that comes after is lovely. Okay, let's give it a go. It's gonna be interesting. Finally, some interesting stuff coming in. This was just an intro, actually, and then there's this, like this. I think I should activate legato for this bass because I'm not hearing it. Indeed, there was no legato activated. Yeah, the next part. This part is my favorite of the song as well. Actually, no, this is not my favorite part of the song. This is my second favorite part of the song. Well, this bit you have this bass is doing ba 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 for a while. I think they're actually layered with loads of other things as well, because the bass, like the low end in this bit, sounds huge in the original track. And I'm quite sure Masashi Hamauzu didn't do like crazy compression on the bass. He went for something organic and natural, so maybe he used tubas. Maybe. I'm gonna suppose he did that. So bam, bam. And I think these tubas don't have legato either. Indeed, they don't. I can already hear some chord progressions on top of this, like some harmonizations, some violas. What the hell am I doing now? I'm gonna see if that's gonna be possible to add. But first, maybe we have this on horns as well. Let's see. I think this genre is the simplest to mix. Like if you wrote a good arrangement, it's gonna sound good on its own, really. So that's what you know, that's my hope. I'm remaking a song called Saber's Edge from Final Fantasy XIII. At least I'm trying. Now here, let me actually listen to what's going on. There's so much that could be happening in this bit. It's crazy. I have no idea what I'm hearing. Like it's like it could be sustained violas. It could be so many things. So here, there's gonna be some interpretation to be done, for sure. Oh my god, what is he doing? This is so me. This thing I added here, this doesn't exist. I decided to add it myself. But it sounds good. I want to add it. I'm gonna leave it there. You cannot hear when I'm listening to Clyde. That's supposed to happen. That's normal. It's because I'm listening to the original, which is copyright protected. So if I stream that in my stream, then my channel will be obliterated by the minute. That's why you can only see this window of a studio. I have another window of a studio where I have the original WAV file of the original song, and I'm listening to that as I recompose it. That's how I do my mockups. My most used MIDI-CC automation lines. Mod wheel, yeah, it's the mod wheel. I made a video yesterday about it, by the way. Let's move on. Yeah, I said it when I started the stream. I guess like no one heard that. Like no, not everyone heard that, but I cannot keep on repeating it. But that's what is happening. I'm not sure about this bit. I mean, I love it, but it's like, is it right? Is it correct to add it there? Probably not. But yeah, let's keep on listening here. Nah, I'm not gonna add it. I am not. Or maybe yes. But I'm gonna do this. Okay, let's add the main melody here. And then I'm gonna add the spiccatos that are obviously harmonizing. It's not a classic spiccato we have here. So the melody, I think in this bit there's this melody played on different octaves. First octave is like octave 5, but I cannot tell if it's like on bass trombones, or French horn. I think it's both. Let's see. So, oh my god. It's mind-blowing that this score was written on Hollywood Orchestra. Like it takes, like if you listen to the original song, I think it takes a lot of effort to make it sound so natural. With VST. And it repeats again, I think, for a few times. We have this maybe on bass trombone, maybe not. I'm not sure at this point. Yep. Sounds a bit slow. It's not, it sounds low, it sounds super loud actually. This bass trombone is taking over. That's not what it's supposed to do. Let's lower its dynamics here. I wonder why. Oh. Okay, well, I'm just gonna lower this with the expression then. Because it's way too loud compared to the French horn, and I don't really like that. And maybe I think I probably layered the bass, like the low end, too much. Maybe I shouldn't use these. Tricky. I just discovered a new shortcut by mistake. Shift, right click, moves the window like that. That's genius. It's gonna help me quite a bit. Now, what we like in this beat, I think it's trumpet. That's why the melody didn't stand out so much. No. Oh yeah, there is a trumpet. Okay, let's try to add that trumpet then. Since I heard it on the original. It's doing the same exact thing in this bit. Hey, Camcorder, thank you for the donation. If I remember, the question number 2 was, do you know any libraries of good effects for making orchestral music like it's come out of an 80s film? So with a bit of lo-fi effect on top of it. There's, I think, this plugin called iZotope, probably Trash? iZotope Trash, or iZotope, yeah, I think it's Trash. There's this or iZotope, I don't remember, but if you go on the iZotope website, there's this free plugin that gives you a lo-fi sound. You can put it on your master track, and Oh, iZotope vinyl. I have it. It's here. Oh, I don't have it anymore. But yeah, iZotope vinyl should be free, I think. Like, it's not expensive, and you get that like vintage effect or vintage vibe on your song. It has a few parameters that you can set. You can set it to sound like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and yeah, it's pretty good. So maybe that will help. Also, surely make sure to write and orchestrate in that style. I think there's a guy called Alex Ball who makes beautiful videos where he shows how he composes for orchestra like it's the 60s or 80s, and it's very good. So yeah, Vinyl and Alex Ball, check them out. Back to our trumpets. These are higher than that. Oh my god, it's so annoying. Maybe on the other library is best. Now I'm gonna try to use them on Arc 1. The trumpets on Arc 1 are so loud. It's like Vuvuzela or something. No offense to trumpet players, of course. I'm just kidding now. But it's very, very sharp. Unless you tone it down, it's gonna destroy your ears. Where are the trumpets? I think I messed it again. Like, how many times does it repeat actually? So there's one repetition, a second, and a third. Yeah. And here I did 4. What the hell is wrong with me? And that's all. So, okay, good. And then this doesn't exist. This will do sort of a and yeah, then there is a break. But now. Someone said save. That's a good. It's a good tip right there. I'm gonna save in a second. First, I want to copy this on brass as well. On brass, on the French horn. Where are the French horn? Oh, they meant save money. Okay, I'm not reading the whole chat, of course, guys. But that was a good advice, even in terms of save the project. Okay. Let's save this. Man, I think I'm gonna switch song to something else in a bit. Yep. Now, though, I want to complete this part. In this part, there is a very interesting arpeggio, sort of, not arpeggio, but ostinato going on in the strings. Which, let me listen to it now. Oh my god, it's so lovely. How do they even think these things? Like it's so simple, but also so freaking beautiful. And since it's so different from what I would write normally, I'm gonna get this wrong. Let's see. So it's like hey, not so fast. Let's do them fast. I swear it's gonna sound good eventually, guys. Actually, let me check if I'm doing the right thing. Oh, I was messing up already. A sec. Hello, Radu. It's not Interstellar. This came way before Interstellar. So there's another voice to this arpeggio. It's just one of the many voices it has. Hey, Ethero, thank you for the donation. Just dropping off a little something on the great content. Happy holidays. Oh, thank you very much. It's not Ethero, it's RQTV. Sorry, I didn't read that well because of the slow screen here, the little screen. But yeah, thank you for the good wishes, man, and the donation. I really appreciate it. Now, let's get back to our arpeggio. So it's very, like, it's what? So particular. It's like, so hard to figure it out when you listen to the whole orchestra like that. So many things that distract you. It was actually pretty simple. Nice. So, we have two voices. One of this doing this, and then there's this one. Maybe I'm gonna add that one on violas. Or, well. It's gonna lead to phasing issues, I think. Oh god, I forgot it already. It was very simple. I must be doing something wrong because it doesn't sound very good compared to the original. There might be phasing issues because this viola arc 1 and violins arc 1 are the same patch. There's a strings high patch for Metropolis arc. So when I'm triggering the same note, the same articulation from the same patch, you might get the same sample twice, and that might lead to phasing issues. Let's add this subdivision here. This still doesn't sound as convincing as the one in the orchestration though. Why? Pretty sure he's not doing these things here. I think he is doing those things. Oh. I'm not convinced. Maybe though, I can move this here. Or maybe not. Let's listen to how it sounds with the orchestration itself. Of course, it needs to be slower, not slower, lower in terms of volume. Let's see. So this one I'm taking is it the violas or? By Meaty Thun. So hard to read the name sometimes. Let's just copy paste this once again, and yeah. Yep. And where is our guy here? I'm not sure about these ostinatos, but I don't really want to spend so much time on them. But I'm quite sure they changed notes here, like in the, because it gives a whole different harmony. At least I want to believe that. Hello to everyone who just joined. Goodbye to the guys who left. And we're gonna move on here. Did you guys see the new Aquaman movie? Like the soundtrack in that movie. Oh my god. It was so freaking good. It was so freaking awesome. I highly recommend to check out the movie for the soundtrack especially. And also like the artistry in that movie. Like the visuals were so freaking good. The story was a bit meh, but man, incredible soundtrack. In this bit, there is a piano coming in. Let's see if I can figure it out. That piano. Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse. It's also something I want to watch as well. There's so many movies I need to catch up with. And now, like, How to Train Your Dragon 3 is coming out eventually. So many great things coming out. Now, in this bit, there was this piano that is doing... I'm just gonna assume he's doing it. No, I'm not gonna assume anything. Let me listen to it. What is he playing? You find it easier to draw notes as opposed to routine playing and quantizing? Yeah, because I cannot play very well. But that's something I'm working on. Like, I'm playing scales for 1 hour a day these days, just to really get my piano chops right, because that saves you time. The piano parts are the most hard for me to really hear, because like piano is such an instrument that it doesn't really, like, it brings color, but it doesn't really stand out so much in the mix. So you hear it harmonically, you hear the colors, or but you cannot really distinguish what note it's playing, especially in a crowded arrangement like this one. So you really have to invent. Happy holidays, straight Arthur Alderan. One thing you might try when trying to pick up instruments is to reverse the phase off on one channel. But like, how? Like, reverse the phase, and what would they give me? Like, if you mean like phase cancellation, probably I'd need to have the instrumental without a specific instrument I want to figure out, right? Like, what do you mean? Can you elaborate further on that? Because that's an interesting tip, but I have no idea how I could apply that. Help hide some of the other instruments. Oh, so if you reverse phase, just hear it differently. That's what I mean. That's interesting. Okay, got it. I will try it for sure. But I think it's time to move on from this piano. Sorry if this is off topic. I want to buy a new library, Swing or one of the Albions, but I don't know which one. Should I save something like Jaeger? It depends on what you need. Look, what library you're going for, what's your budget, what's the sound you want. Ideally, just listen to the demos of all the libraries you're interested in, read the site to see which instrument they contain, and then you will know if it's for you or not. I cannot tell you, yeah, buy it, or wait, because I have no idea what music you compose. Like, orchestral music is one genre, but inside it, there are so many different ways to do it. So for some people, it makes sense to buy Jaeger. For other people, it makes sense to buy Symphobia and stuff like that. Just listen to the demos and see which one you like best. At least I've never tried those, so I tell you that. If you mentioned Jaeger versus Metropolis Arc 1, I could have told you the differences, but I don't know the libraries you're talking about. maybe ask someone who knows, who uses the library. But really, if you listen to the demos and you read on the websites the instruments they have, then that pretty much solves it. But anyway, let's move on. The only thing lacking is the percussion. Okay, let's try to add start from the snare. Where are we? Messed it. What? I think this is like the gist of what the snare is doing. It's not exactly like that, but... Oh my god. Okay. Hide the channel rack? How do you hide the channel rack? What are you talking about? How did I have no idea what you're talking about. I think the channel rack is visible. Is it hidden? No, it's visible. I don't know. This is like completely zoomed. Like I double clicked it and that's like it's done. I'm not hiding it. Yeah, this snare it's nothing complicated really. Now there's other stuff going on in the percussion. But let me listen to it. Yeah, I messed it up already. Yeah, it's like da, 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 da. Yep. Okay, so this is the correct pattern. That's more interesting. Contact channel. What do you, Anjan, I'm not sure I understand your question. Like contact, you mean this? It's not hidden, it's just not open. I'm using MIDI, like I'm using these MIDI instances, like these PRSO articulate instances, linked to my contact. So I'm not composing inside the contact, I'm composing for contact inside these MIDI channels. And if you want to understand how this is done, check out my tutorial about my template. As for hiding the instrument, oh, sorry. If you mean this, you click on the icon, it hides it like this. Otherwise, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, anyway. How many contact channels do I have loaded right now? I hope you resample everything. Your PC is going to explode. There's many. I think there must be, I don't know, 40 or something. Left side. Yeah? Okay. What about the left side, Anjan? What is hidden on the left side? I see all my channels here on the left side, right? But yeah, I don't know. As for the tracks, yeah, it must be 40 or something, but they're all like purged. So if you use the purge function, you save a lot of RAM. Right now I'm using 9 gigabytes, but it's because they're all purged. Like if I loaded all the instruments at their full RAM capacity, this would take a lot of gigabytes. So yeah. Look, I saw a video from a podcast or interviews. Like there's an interview channel called Chase Jarvis Live, and he made an interview with an author called Seth Godin, who had something to say about the writer's block. It was very interesting. Highly recommended. Go on Chase Jarvis Live, search Seth Godin, and there's like an hour an interview. But in that hour, there's a bit near the end where they talk about the writer's block, and they say something that they drop a knowledge bomb there that like leaves you like, oh my god, you know, I have no excuses anymore, and it just gets you to work. That's a very good video. Anyway, let's get back to our percussion here. This will be layered with our classic epic toms, which are not in the original song, but I still want to add them because, you know. Okay. Maybe I could... This will surely give a bit of boost to our low end here, since we almost have none, and that's not very good. Yep. Look, I have zero musical education as well, or rather, I mean, now I have it because I studied lots of other composers' tracks and I wrote lots of tracks myself. But when I started, I had none, you know, zero. that was me. I wanted to actually make it to show the world. You can actually make it without talent, you know. If you give up your excuses and just do the work every day, then you get somewhere. If you want to keep your excuses, do it. all the power to you, but then you don't have to complain about not getting success because you haven't done the work. So the video I mentioned before about Seth Godin and Chase Jarvis, what they said is like people who say that they have writer's block, sometimes they're just lousy writers, you know, because it's like people who have all, like they bought all the gear, but then they mention, they say, I have writer's block. Well, Seth Godin says, well, maybe you're just a lousy writer. Maybe you just get tired of writing after 5 minutes. If you really have writer's block, then show me the work you've done. Show me all the hundreds of scrapped, fully formed ideas. Show me how bad you have it, you know? And if you really have 100 songs that are like all completed and they all sound like crap, then you can say you have writer's block. But if you stop writing a song after, 10 seconds of arrangement, after 2 hours of writing that song, and you do that endlessly, you don't have writer's block. You're probably just a lousy writer. That's what Seth Godin said. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, he busted me. Because when I have writer's block, it's usually that. I don't complete an idea. I was like, write 10 seconds and like, these 10 seconds are not amazing. I'm going to move on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And it keep on moving on to next things without ever composing more than 10 seconds, more than 30 seconds. And then you feel like you're stuck. What you are doing is actually skipping the part where you have to sit down and do the grueling work of getting into the good bit, you know? Because that's usually how it is. Like if you've been watching this live stream, this hasn't been fun. I mean, it has because I've been chatting to you guys, but what I've wrote here is not exciting, it's not so great, whatever. But that's part of the work, to get to the good bit. And then when you get to the good bit, you find hope into making the rest of the track sound awesome in its own. And that's how it works. In some tracks, though, you sit down and whatever you compose is like amazing, and you finish the track in 2 hours, and you're like, I am the shit, you know? But it's not always like that. So you just need to get used to that feeling of sitting down, doing the work, and really write fully formed ideas, even if they're terrible. And then, eventually, I think 1 out of 10 ideas is usually, 1 out of 10 written ideas is usually a great one, you know? At least for me, it takes that much, sometimes even more. You cannot expect to write awesome music whenever you sit down to compose music. That's not realistic, and that's not what we do. We are paid and admired and whatever for being disciplined artists who do their job. If you're not disciplined, you cannot expect results and you cannot expect to get far. So it's really sometimes a matter of sitting down and just leave the excuses at home and do the work. And it sucks to hear it. When I heard that, I listened to that podcast, I was like, oh my God. I was so ashamed because I'm like, well, this is me as well. And it was like, so sometimes I'm just lazy and bored. But if you admit that to yourself, then you retain some power. Because now it's not like, I have writer's block, I have no power. It's like, maybe I'm tired, maybe I'm lazy, maybe I'm bored by this project. So it's me. It's something that has to do with me. It means I can do something about it. For example, this track here, maybe I'm tired of writing it. Okay. Instead of saying I have writer's block, I can open a whole, like a new whole project file and compose something else. And that's something I could do, for example. So it's about just do the work, force yourself to make music for a number of hours every day. And eventually out of that work, which is not always going to be fun, you're going to get to the good bits. And that's how it works. If you just want to do it when it's fun, then you don't want to be a professional. Because being a professional is also a matter of doing the hard work, which is not fun. And sitting down in front of your DW while everyone in the rest of London is having beers and party because it's like, what time is it now? I have no idea. It's like 5. Anyway, guys, let's do a round of Q&A soon. Start asking your questions now. I will answer those, hoping they're going to be different from the questions from before. Maybe it's best if I do that percussive loop timpani or something. Am I from the future? I am. What do they want to add here? I want to add some symbols and stuff. Hey, Camcorder, that's your second donation of the day. Thank you very much. Just wanted to say I love your channel. Wish you a late Merry Christmas and also Happy New Year. Night. Man, thank you very much and thank you for joining. Thank you for the good messages in the donation. Have a great New Year as well and Merry Christmas. Late. Okay, let me do these symbol things and then I'm gonna reply your question, guys. I'm not even sure that's what the symbols are doing here. And if the gong belongs. I hate that piano right now. Sounds very stupid. You know, some instruments when you compose, they're like the voice in your head that reminds you, hey, you know when you did something stupid and you've been a failure? Okay, the piano in this song is like that. Like I composed the orchestral parts and they're okay, and then there's the piano and it's like, you know, you're actually a failure. And it's like, shut up. Shut the hell up. Okay, let's listen to your questions and reply to a few of those. I'm gonna save this project now. Let's get to the Q&A. Okay. Go back. Oh no, something happened to the chat. Wait a second, guys. I cannot see the chat anymore for some reason. Firefox is crashing. Okay, give me a sec here. Oh my god, my computer is going crazy. Let's open the chat from my phone then. Hoping my computer stabilizes because I don't want to lose my work here. Okay, I see the chat. And the computer is, I think, is back to being operative. I hope. No? Okay, yeah. All right, that gave me a fright there. Let's go. So, let's go back. Alex, what's the crash you use before the main passage? It's Rhapsody, Orchestral, Percussion, Jaeger. Clay asks, Alex, what did you use for your sources about music theory, etc. that helped to get started? So there's this website called musictheory.net. Clay, musictheory.net has the basics of music theory you need to know to compose music. Very interesting. It takes you half an hour to go through it. Has audio examples and everything. Very, very cool. Also, I did some private lessons, one with Variant, two with Seamless R, and I also took what was, at the time, the cinematic music from idea to finish recording course from Evenant. Back in the day, it was a different website, same developer, Arne Andersson, but the course was 1/5 of what it is now. So that's why I always recommend it in my videos. And if you get it from the description of my videos, you give me a helping hand to keeping this channel going because it's my sponsor. But I really took that course, helped me a lot, and also did a masterclass with Arne. He did also a masterclass for 5 weeks. I had to pay a bit for that. And it helped me a lot as well because I had lots of private lessons from Arne. And then composing music every day, all day for a few years. Yeah. Let's see, other questions. This is exactly why I love you and Daniel Ashton. Dirk makes obvious. Should the work and what it takes to soon realize the effort it takes. Yeah, Ramon, like that's what we try to do. Like at least that's what I try to do. Daniel and Ash, they're way better than me, and they have this thing where whenever they compose, it sounds amazing. For me, it's like it takes years to make stuff sound awesome. But yeah, if you guys don't know them. Daniel James and Ashton Glackman, interesting YouTube channels to follow for orchestral music. Where was I? Oh my god, I lost track of the chat. Luvita, you are of your inspiration for me. Thank you very much. Alex, have you ever transcribed anything other than soundtracks? Transcribed? I don't think I did. All the tracks I transcribe or I do mockups are soundtracks for Final Fantasy or for films and stuff like that, usually. I did write lots of original music aside from that, and that's pretty much what I've done. I've also learned, I'm trying to learn stuff on instruments from other people. How do you make mod curves look as single lines in the playlist? They look like in piano roll with me. Michael Maurice asked that question. How do I make them look like in single lines? It depends on what happened. Oh my god, FL Studio is crashing. Oh my god. I think we killed the FL Studio, guys. It's done. It's not working anymore. But yeah, in FL Studio, there is... Jesus, it really crashed. Oh my god. But yeah, in FL Studio, there is a way, usually, you see on the top left. I'm gonna have to close it, I think. But yeah, on the top left of the screen, there is note, chan, pat. If you click on those, it changes the focus of your playlist, and that leads it to have the lines instead of the curves. Wow, terrible. FL Studio crashing during the stream. That's my nightmare, and it really happened. It's not good. Not good at all. Let's see the other questions. I went very, far back in the chat. That's not. Can you make a remake of Axios Family? How do you approach writing original music versus arranging existing pieces? When I write original music, I just mess around with stuff a lot more. I don't always know what I'm doing. And you can see that in my live stream composing. Sometimes Saving Princess, sometimes I do live stream composing of original tracks. And there you see, I start with random ideas. I might start with a melody. I might start with a percussive riff or something. It's different every time. But yeah, I usually start from a single element, and then that leads the whole track to evolve and grow, kind of. What is your philosophy when to use ensemble patches and when not to? Let's see. Wait a second here, because everything, my computer is crashing entirely. That's going insane. Not sure what the cause of this is. Let me actually address it for a second, guys. But yeah, my philosophy... Sorry, I lost the question. I'm going to open them from my phone so those don't crash at least. What was the question? Okay, what is your philosophy on when to use ensemble patches and when not to? I usually use ensemble patches when I'm lazy. That's the real answer to that question. Also, I try to the reason why I prefer not to use ensemble patches so much is that when you use ensemble patches, you tend to be lazier. You tend to write everything in one pattern, and that's not very good. Because if you try to divide your patches, you try to use violins and violas and basses and stuff like that. You assign different mod wheel movements, like mod wheel curves, to every single one of those. And yeah, that's good. That's better for realism. You also tend to use way more voices and stuff like that. Now, let me see. Oh, FL Studio returned. Thank God. I thought everything was crashing. Alex, early on, what did you use for... I replied that already. Since you want to write music for games, do you think writing music by ear is enough for you, or you feel the need to learn more theory stuff, modes, modulation, etc.? I think writing music by ear is enough. But what is not enough is writing music like I'm doing now, like click, without actually playing the thing. Because in the way I compose music, this is very slow, and I'm slow because I don't have this second nature sort of thinking that comes when you actually learn how to play instruments and the keyboard in and out and stuff like that. So I'm trying to practice piano a lot these days because that's Like, I'd love to compose music by actually playing it. That would make my process faster. And in making it faster, I would be able to compose more songs, and that would be better as a producer or composer. Learning theory is never a bad idea. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I wouldn't say it's a bad idea. But it depends on who you are. I think I closed FL Studio without wanting to. Yeah, so now you're seeing another instance of FL Studio. I just don't know anything about composition, harmony, orchestration. That's holding you back. I've been trying, so maybe I'm lazy, but I see it more as an extreme fear of failure. Well, that's an issue there. Like, I recommend you to watch the podcast I did with the iZotope, because we talked about it in the last bits of the podcast. Fear of failure, you shouldn't let it get to you, because that's how to stop yourself from having any sort of progress in your musical career. That's not good to have it. Flam Seal, no question here, but I wanted to say I appreciate your work. Thank you for it. Oh, no problem. Lycan, I spent all afternoon wiring my studio, which was a nightmare. Now I get to chill out and watch this. Nice. That's great. How to make drums? Oh man, what drums? Like a percussive, an orchestral percussion, or is it like a rock drums that you want to learn? What specific drums you're talking about? Star Shaker 46. Alex, what would you recommend to learn drums and percussion composing? Okay, that's another question there about drums. I recommend trying to write as much percussive music as possible. Oh my god, everything is crashing here. Can you guys still hear my voice? Because it seems everything is just crashed and destroyed for some reason. Please let me know if you can hear me. Because otherwise I just reply to them all those different questions with for no reason, because no one heard. Yeah, you can. Okay, that's great. FL Studio is giving me heart attacks today. I don't know why. Maybe it's the 3 instances of FL Open that were a problem. So about percussion and drums and stuff, I'm gonna probably make a tutorial about that. Evident is fantastic, but what about ThinkSpace? I have never tried their courses. Are you doing 21 days of VGM contest? I haven't heard about that one. What is it? Do you need to compose an original VGM song for every day? Yuho asked, how long did it take you to get there? You mean to my level musically? I started when I was 20, now I'm 26. I'm starting to feel old. It's 6 years of my life went into this whole process. Jesus. When's the next track review stream? It's not planned.